There's an insidious addiction that has taken hold of society, silently wreaking havoc in our lives. It's an addiction that goes unnoticed because it's so deeply woven into the fabrics of our daily routines. Unlike other addiction, there's no stigma attached to it. In fact, it's often celebrated and encouraged. But make no mistake, this addiction is robbing you of your financial security, your peace of mind, and your future.
Advertising has us chasing cars and clothes, working jobs we hate so we can buy shit we don't need.
This line from Fight Club perfectly encapsulates the vicious cycle we find ourselves in. Imagine a life where you're constantly chasing after the next big thrill. You work tirelessly only to find that the satisfaction from your efforts is fleeting. The joy you feel is temporarily, quickly replaced by a nagging desire for more. As you strive to keep up, you find yourself trapped in a cycle of earning and spending with little to show for it at the end of the day. The stress mounts, but the answer seems to lie in indulging even more deeply into the very habit that's causing your problems. This addiction is so powerful because it taps into our deepest desires. It promises happiness, status, and fulfillment, yet it delivers none of these in any lasting way. Instead, it leaves us with debt, anxiety, and a sense of emptiness that no amount of indulgence can fill. The more we indulge, the deeper we sink into a pit of financial instability, always yearning for the next fix, the next high, the next purchase.
Get in, loser, we're going shopping.
The consequences of this addiction extend far beyond the surface. It erodes your financial security, leaving you vulnerable for unforeseen events and emergencies. The more you feed this addiction, the less you have to invest in your future. Savings dwindle, credit card balances grow, and the dream of financial independence slips further out of reach. This addiction doesn't just affect your bank account, it affects your mental and emotional well-being. The constant pressure to keep up, to have more, and to show off what you have creates a perpetual state of stress and dissatisfaction. No matter how much you indulge, it never feels like enough. You're always left wanting more, always chasing a sense of fulfillment that remains just out of reach.
The things you own end up owning you.
By now you might be wondering what this addiction is. It's something we all face, something that has become so normalized that we barely recognize its destructive power. This addiction is consumerism.
I knew it! I knew it! I knew it!
Consumerism is the relentless pursuit of material possessions, driven by the belief that owning more things will lead to greater happiness and fulfillment. It's the addiction that convinces us that our worth is measured by what we have rather than who we are. It's the reason why so many of us are trapped in a cycle of debt and financial insecurity, constantly buying things we don't need with money we don't have to impress people we don't even like. To become more financially secure, it's crucial to recognize the difference between needs and wants, long-term financial goals over short-term gratification. This doesn't mean you have to forego all pleasures, but it does mean becoming more mindful of how and why you spend your money. Start by evaluating your current spending habits. How much of your income is going towards things that truly add value to your life? Are there areas where you can cut back or redirect your spending towards investments that can grow your wealth over time? Consider how you can shift from being a consumer to becoming a producer. Not that kind of producer. Because they are producers. Because if you really want to break free from the grips of consumerism and build true financial security, you need to shift your focus from consuming to producing. Producers, those who create, innovate, and invest, are the ones who are truly building wealth in today's economy. They understand that the key to financial success isn't in accumulating things, but in rather generating value. Remember,
It's only after we've lost everything that we're free to do anything.
once you go from material possession, you can open the door to true freedom and creativity. When you produce, you're actively contributing to the economy and building something that can grow over time. Producers aren't dependent on the next paycheck or the latest sale. Instead, they create multiple streams of income that provide stability and security. They leverage their resources, time, money, and energy towards activities that generate more wealth rather than spending them on fleeting pleasures. It's important to understand that the growing wealth gap isn't a result of income inequality. It's a reflection of how people manage their resources. Producers are getting richer because they understand how to leverage their income to create more wealth. They invest in assets, businesses, and opportunities that yield returns over time. Consumers, on the other hand, are getting poorer because they spend their income on goods that depreciate and provide no financial return. The more you consume, the less you have to invest. Conversely, the more you produce, the more resource you have to invest in your future. By shifting your focus from consumption to production, you can break free from the cycle of consumerism and start building real financial security. Consumerism is indeed ruining our lives, but it doesn't have to ruin yours. By understanding the dangers of unchecked consumption and making the conscious efforts to become a producer rather than a consumer, you can take control of your financial future. This path to financial security isn't paved with the latest gadgets or luxurious items. It's built on the foundation of production, investment, and mindful spending.
You're not your job. You're not how much money you have in the bank. You're not the car you drive. You're not the contents of your wallet. You're not your f***ing khakis.
It's time to stop letting consumerism dictate your life and start taking steps towards real wealth and security. And you can do that by watching the video on the right of the screen.